Minecraft is full of glitches. Some break the game, others are absolutely useless. Today we're gonna be looking at the most insane glitches of all time. Throughout Minecraft's history, there have been a few ways to get the bedrock item in survival. When Endermen were added, they could pick up any block. So if you found an Enderman holding bedrock, you could get the actual item. But recently, Raceworks decided getting the item isn't enough, and so he built an entire bedrock farm. If you place a turtle egg on the coordinates 0, 0, 0, it will cause every single zombie to start walking towards that location. I have no idea how this glitch works, but it's pretty amazing. Just make sure there's air above the turtle egg, and you'll never have to deal with zombies ever again. This is absolutely game breaking, but we're only getting started. The next glitch puts Elytras to shame. The Ravage Launcher can actually teleport you thousands of blocks within a few seconds. That's because the Ravager has a mechanic that deals a ton of knockback if you stand right above it. Every time you block a shield, there is a 50% chance that the Ravager will do this roar, and once it does, you'll be sent flying. At one point, foxes and pandas could wear armor. If you gave an armor piece to a fox, it would simply equip it. Pandas could do this as well, although I don't know how they fit inside. You can replicate this today using commands, which allows you to give armor to any mob. This is only the beginning. Imagine what the glitches at the end look like. Believe it or not, finding this quintuple spawner is possible in vanilla Minecraft. A chest and a spawner have to be generated at the same spot. The game doesn't know what to do, so it places spawners all around the chest and resets the spawner data. And since the default mob is a pig, we're left with 5 working pig spawners. Using command blocks can yield amazing results. However, make sure you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you might end up with this monstrosity. That's what happens when you use the ghast animation on other mobs. Honestly, this is one of the most cursed things I've ever seen. Raceworks is literally the Einstein of Minecraft. In 2017, he designed a fully functioning Ender Dragon farm. This farm produces millions of XP per hour, making it the most efficient farm ever made. The design is super complex, but essentially you just sit in a minecart and watch the dragons get killed by falling TNT, which funnily enough is also glitched. But more on that later. Bedrock Edition has a really cool glitch. If you place down a bunch of slime blocks, put a boat on top of them and start jumping on it, you will fly high into the air once you hop in the boat. This bug has been a thing for a long time, and countless players have reported it to Mojang, but they refuse to fix it. Ever seen an underground village? Since the new caves can be really big, the game sometimes gets confused and tries generating a village in the cave, which doesn't sit well with the villagers. This bug keeps the iron golem busy, because living in a cave is quite dangerous. When Jeb created the squid, he took the cow files and copied them over. However, he forgot to remove the code for milk, so for a while squids had their own milk. Honestly, this makes me wonder what that would taste like. Anyway, what's even funnier is that squids weren't limited to just water. They could fly anywhere. This is so wrong, but we're only scratching the surface. The next glitch is my favorite. You're gonna need a rail and a lot of minecarts with TNT. This will create a moving bomb that will detonate once it hits something, and that something can be you. Now obviously you're not gonna survive this. However, if we quickly change the difficulty, instead of dying, you'll get sent straight to Mars. Wait, is that Elon? There is a lot of creative ways to hide your loot, and I think I found the best method. Push a solid block into a minecart chest from the top, which hides it completely. Now all you have to do is aim for the center, and you should be able to access your stashed loot. I guarantee you, no one is finding this chest. In December of 2021, the Log4Shell exploit put every Minecraft player at risk. That's because anyone could have accessed your computer just by sending a single message in chat. Thousands of players were affected by this. In some cases, whole Minecraft and Discord accounts were stolen. This is pretty crazy. However, it's nothing compared to the glitches later in the video. Every 1 in 140 billion worlds is a repeating seed. So if you want to find it, you should call Dream. These seeds are mind-blowing. For instance, you can find a mine shaft that goes on forever, or this cursed diagonal ravine that simply never ends. You can make history on this seed and become the first player to reach the world border on a strider. During some snapshots, players began noticing two oak logs sticking out from the ground. This seemed strange enough, because there are no 2-block tall trees. This mystery was solved when one of the players went into a cave and saw a bunch of leaves. Some oak trees were generating upside down, which explains the wooden logs sticking out from the grass. For a second I thought Herobrine did this. If you're exploring the Nether, you have a 0.01% chance of finding 5 striders stacked on top of each other. Not only is this creature unbelievably rare, but it's also extremely useful, so please don't kill it. The Pentastrider is actually the fastest creature in all of Minecraft, but it doesn't go forward. Instead, it goes upwards. See, hooking the bottom one with a lead and riding the top strider causes you to burst into the sky. Mojang has a questionable way of handling bugs. In 2014, mine shafts in mesa biomes were generated with sandstone at the entrance, which stood out among the orange blocks. Their solution was adding red sandstone, a completely new block. Mojang couldn't bother fixing these bugs, so they just added new blocks and called it a day. Walking in the air should only be possible in creative. However, when you spam right click on a scaffolding, you have a small chance of creating this glitched block. In reality, this block shouldn't exist. You're the only player that sees it. To everyone else, it will seem like you're cheating. Make sure the server doesn't have flying disabled, otherwise you will get kicked. Some players want Mojang to add seasons. Leaves would change color in the fall, it would snow everywhere in the winter. You get the point. On Bedrock Edition, this is closer to reality, since leaves in cold biomes are white. But there was a time where the game glitched, causing white leaves to be bright red instead. Honestly, I wish the devs didn't fix this bug, because it looks kinda sick. Doc M77 outsmarted the developers. He figured out a way to overload a chunk that has a spawner, making the game generate a new one. This process can be repeated multiple times, resulting in a chunk full of spawners. But this is still only a fraction of what's possible with glitches. The #1 killer of Minecraft worlds is time. Playing on a seed throughout multiple updates will cause it to eventually start lagging. However, something can happen to your old saves that's much worse than lag. Certain old worlds on consoles and phones began generating chunks that were made purely from stone. You wouldn't find any ores, any dirt, nothing. Just endless amounts of rock. The Nether is a dangerous place, so the next time you're going through a Nether portal, block your shield, and once you're on the other side, you will become unkillable. No matter if you're running or jumping, your shield will remain blocked. Unfortunately, if you try eating or placing blocks, your shield will reset back to normal. But until then, you will feel like Superman. If you had to say whether this forest was built by a player or naturally generated, you'd probably say someone built it. However, you'd be wrong. This phenomenon is 100% natural. But Dadusak, I've never seen a biome look like this. Well, that's because you haven't played on this snapshot, in which birch forests generate in a perfect grid. While this is very satisfying to my OCD, it doesn't look realistic. There was a time, not too long ago, when you could create armor with all protection types. This took place at the early stages of the 1.14 update. Someone discovered that you can create the God armor set with 4 protection types on it. Of course, this news spread quickly, and once Mojang found out, they patched it immediately. But they didn't check my ender chest. The Ender Dragon is the final boss of Minecraft, but there is a way to completely humiliate her. By placing obsidian at Y144 precisely above the fountain and putting water on top of it, you've just broken the game. Thanks to the water, the Ender Dragon will start swimming up and become stuck. Glitching the Ender Dragon is cool, but wait until I show you the next exploits. You thought that getting the bedrock item is hard? Well, what about items that shouldn't even exist? This is the block without a texture. But Dadusak, what kind of block doesn't have a texture? Well, the image you see is a placeholder texture used by Mojang, since it is clearly recognizable in case something goes wrong. Fun fact, by removing every single texture in Minecraft, you'll create a world that looks like this. What do foxes and thunderstorms have in common? Not much. However, when a fox finds itself in a thunderstorm without a roof, the chunks around spawn will start loading. If you have any automatic farms there, this one fox will make sure that they are running smoothly. I swear, Mojang is adding these glitches on purpose, because this doesn't make any sense. The first ever Xray glitch was simple. You just had to drop some sand on top of your head. But with time, executing this exploit became more and more difficult. The most recent version of the Xray bug involves pushing yourself into a composter, which will allow you to see all the surrounding caves, structures, and maybe even diamonds. TNT duping is one of the most revolutionary inventions in Minecraft. TNT dupers are used in cobble farms, in mining quarries, and to kill mobs. Using them makes the game a lot easier. Instead of spending countless hours mining a large hole, all you have to do is build a flying machine with a TNT duper and the job's done. I'm looking to hire some people, so if you want to work with me, check the description.